Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 427th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 7th, 2022. This is a presentation of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be host today, and of course, we are joined with Mr. Mayran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, and I believe he's eager to deliver today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Oh, good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers Spaceship Institute line of teachings. We welcome you back, and we hope we share some more knowledge and some more understanding of the knowledge of the way the creation works. And one of the most important part of the understanding of the creation is how does everything create? How everything was created. We know from the understanding of the new technology that in a way, human race is not the only race. But to understand it completely, that allows us to bring us to the next step, to the next level of what we call comprehension of totality. In the world of creation, in the science of man up to now, we talked about Adam and Eve, we talked about the man being created, or the essence of the creation of the man from Central East Africa, and then we spread and the rest of it. But where did this come to lead to the creation of man? Is life of man an accident of time and position in space? Or for us to put aside our prejudices, man become the knowledge of totality, to understand the total knowledge of how it is. In a way, man always thought up to now that from creator and comes the man in one position in South Central Africa and the rest of it. In a teaching in the past, we have explained a lot in these processes. But in a way, we are not a direct line connection. We are a connection of a connection of a connection. And these connections have been going on for trillions of years of man's cycle. Each one being another galaxy, another universe, another dimension, in different shape or forms, releasing energies, that the end product of the energy in combination of what we has become, the center of the earth, in a cycle has created the what we call life of the man in one position. But again, when we study the understanding of it, even in the historical data, we understand that man was not created in one position alone. There is a possibility that simultaneously number of races of man, number of races of beings were created at the same time across this planet. Because we know, we have understood, we have gathered enough information to understand that the cat, the dog, the dinosaurs, and the rest, all, plus the man, plus the trees, all started with amino acid. And a deviation and diversion from one to the other with the presence of different materials led to the creation of a variety of lives on this planet. Then the question arises for all of us is, what happened in this cycle, or what happened in many cycles that emanated from the source. Would some of these in the long run became in meeting this led to the creation of, or did some of this came back and it met to the point that it met led to creation of? In a sense, once we found the combination of the energy source, communication source, holding energy pattern, and line of gravity, you can replace this with any element depending on the time, place, and position. So, in fact, life is not exclusivity of this planet. Never been. And in a way, shall never be, because ongoing process still is carrying on with other cycles from the same source, where could be that these sources which lead on could be collective, the soul of the planet and the man which is created out of it as a seed. But we understand now the totality. And if we understand the totality, we understand the reality and the fact that we are totally, utterly creation of coincidences. And if these coincidences led to creation of life on earth, so life has existed and exists in all dimensions across the universe. The only thing which now is happening with the human race, and hopefully once the human race understands it, will come to all the rest of the creatures on this planet and the rest of what will come from them, is that now we understand we are a member of a very big family which all creates from the dimension of the creation. And this family is not exclusivity and is not going to end because the cycle has already started into the next generation. The cycle of soul of the man that agrees to the creation of their cycles. So what is important for us, if we are going to make this trip backwards and meet with our other fellow and other people which we are created out of, then very much, as I said, in your amino acid, in your RNA, and in your DNA, this information exists. The way in your DNA, the information about the man and how to be a blue-eyed and how to behave exists, because this is collective of this. But as we have not understood the rest of the structure of the energy fields of DNA and RNA in totality, we do not see that we are connected to this and to this and the rest of it. In a way, we have to understand in the development of the new spaceships and space development, how would this soul from this planet, how would this system, what we call enhancement unit, will perform in this? Would it survive? Would it become the whole understanding of us, how to tune our systems, flight systems, that we do not go to a dimension that we are so weak that in essence we are not heard, we are not seen, we are not existing in a dimension of the physicality of the time, place, and position. Does the soul of the man Does the physicality of the man needs elevation of the strength in his own circle? As we know, the plasma goes this way. Does it need elevation in the circle of inner strength to be able to manifest itself at a higher order? Just because you cannot be seen does not mean that you don't exist. But once you understand the strength of the emotion, understanding, would this lead to a new generation of more intellected being as we start traveling back and forth in different dimensions? Thus, the soul of the man has reached a point of understanding that does not need crafts, but it needs to understand how to go within its own inner sanctums and be able to revert back. So man can be manifested at any position, at any time. It's him who will decide, not the machine. The machines will help us, maybe in the solar system, maybe within our galaxy. But if you are to go in a deeper essence of understanding, we understand more. The reality is what we see as a human race in one corner of this universe is what is matter state to the human strength vision point of view, which is something like less than 2% of what it is. So we have to gather a strength to see different strengths that we can understand, and we can manifest ourselves in these different strengths, because the green cannot see the black and the black cannot see the red. This is why our spaces are empty from the vision of the man point of view, where in fact the universe is a multitude, a solid, dense, what we call interaction and existence of the fields, which one is centralized, but at the same time, this universe itself is on the what we call another spiral of energies, which will lead in one way or another to what we call the source. The first energies, the first origin started, where in these points we'll come across different what we call galaxies and universes, and depending how far we can go in the depth of the energy. But in essence, we all carry the essence of the creation, the source, the level of where the life will start. The question for man will be that in a circle of his essence of creation, in manifestation, which is gives to be seen, would that within the inner strength exist a strength which is as the strength of the creator that finds the line of communication, finds a common source, finds the seed of. So if you understand this and what we explained, then within the center of the soul of the man, within the seed of the soul of the man, sits the seed of the creator. I made man in the image of myself because I am myself within the image. And this brings a lot of complications for a lot of people in a coming time as we develop this space technology, not into the dimension of physicality, but in the dimension of what we call field, the strength of understanding of the creation. If you are sitting here with the soul of the man, then you want to connect with the soul of the others, which you see through the dimension of physicalities. When man opens his eyes and sees the totality of the vision of the universe at a higher order, will see nothing but the transparency of the fields in motion, which means you will not see the galaxies anymore, you will not see the stars anymore, but you see fields in dimension of the total motion. And in fact, this is the beginning of what we call the teaching of the Keshe Foundation. Because we started as matter state existence. We started what we saw as elements. We became atomic, we became nuclear, now become plasma. And in the world of the plasma, once we start looking that we have opened with the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, we see the essence, replication of what it saw in the universe. And then what it'll be in the Creator. And us, in understanding of totality, seated somewhere in a weaker position here, most probably, but the process will carry on. In a way, we are just the energy transformation. And if we can add enough strength to our soul, in the next cycle of the creation, we might jump here. But if we can gather enough, understand the totality enough to be able to lock into the energy fields of the cosmos of the higher order, one day man can be here without needing to travel the whole length and the caboodle of the creation. So what it comes to is the fact that mankind is not alone. Mankind is not there to carry on with the abuses, what is done on this planet, once it goes into space. We cannot start in a way that I've said many times, eating whatever comes across us, destroying whatever comes across us, unless we understand that we are part of the process, and in that process, the survival, the integration, and the keeping everything together of the soul of the man at a point of establishment is the ultimate goal. Which means the habit of the man to destroy, to absorb the energies of the field of the what we call earth, to elevate extension of the strength of the soul, cannot be repeated in the universe unless you learn to live within, absorbing with the structure of the soul of the universe and the soul of the Creator, which is, in essence, lower version absorption of the fields that we, according to the strength of our soul, can absorb. We cannot give a banana to one day born child because it's not ready, cannot digest, cannot, the body, the understanding of the life within it is not there at that strength. It is time to mature, that one day down the line, he can be given the first what we call liquid, the solid, to enter the next phase of the life, that he can live on the process of the other entities in this life. What happens when, now that the man gains the knowledge, feeds the child from the day of the birth, gradually, from the essence of the soul, then matters of the planet. It is the responsibility of the parents to learn the process and gradually phase out the killing, phase out the destruction, phase out the absorption of the others collective. Where it's available, you take. And to what strength you take? The knowledge given to knowledge seekers is there in a way that the child of the man, the essence of the soul of the man, gets fed from the essence of the energies of the universe, not from matter states of the universe, where the energies are and can be converted to soothe the energy fields of the need of the man at a point of need. If you understand this process, then you understand why, especially in the enhancement units which are developed, you don't see any restaurants or cafes or toilets. Rick, can you go through the promotion video of the flight enhancement unit where you see the 3 units next to each other and put it on the screen, please? This means that when you look at the new enhancement units, which are flight units, according to the man, when you are on a flight, you need to have everything for them. When you get on a plane to fly, you see the seats, you see the toilets, you see the kitchen that they can serve you. If you look at the structure of these flight system, there is no kitchen. There is no toilet. There is no control room. There is no control panel. Now you understand. Even with the simple animations, we have introduced the next cycle of the space travel in a very soft way. In a way that you see, this is a craft built for the space that can travel any depth of the universe, as it will not consume another being. In a present situation, if it's 4 of you and you get stuck, you look at which one of the other 3 passengers am I going to eat? Can you go back to the 3 crafts, please? In so many ways, if you understood this, can you stop it there, please? You will understand that we have already introduced to you what was in past few minutes explained. We are making man ready for that final flight, where man dictates travels with his soul, understands even the system, understands the communication of the soul, that it can fit to satisfy. In the flight enhancement units, which you will see coming up, only 1 seat has control system built in it, that in the soul of the man, with the soul of the man, it communicates with the system control, and within the structure communicates with the soul of the system, where this, as intermediary, understands in proximity what it needs to be done by the total craft. What energy level to adjust to, that in the process you come closer or further afield. Do I give more because I came from Earth and I'm traveling that way, away from the energy source? Do I give more to move away in a strength point of view, not in a matter state of view? Or I gain from the environment that I can come closer to the seed, to the essence of the origin of the creation. This is where the new development, the new teaching, the new structure is taking us. It's where we will go through with understanding the totality, where we come to be part of the essence of the creation. We have been part of the essence of creation, and we shall be part of the essence of the creation in a different dimensions and strengths from the beginning of the time. The reality for us is to understand the process. In the present system of what we are used to, we call it the solar system. We always look at one point. We have the sun, and we have the earth, and we are its citizens. We feed ourselves from its energies and elevate our souls to become passenger, depending on what we have done in our cycle of life, to be closer to the higher strength to move forward, or due to the crimes we've done to go backwards. In a way, not backwards, but be part of the next generation of the developments of the next cycle. Maybe our soul in the coming time, in a process, will interact with another soul, and that soul will interact with another soul, which leads to the next generation of souls from interaction of the fields which came originally from the earth, through the soul of the man or through the soul of the animal. But what we have not considered, and we always look at it so, what I call dismissively, is that day and night, this planet Earth is getting fed by the mother. It's not just the daylight, it's a continuous feeding to be able to control the dimension. And as we said before, the sun itself is getting fed by the resources, not only in galaxy, but in the universe and the unicos, depending on the field strength of where they come in. As we are fed the same way. We are not just fed by what we eat from the ground, but from what rays of the universe has come through that is end up with us as a body, as absorbing and converting it to what we need. These teachings, even though simple, are essential for the humanity to know what is to come, or where it wants to be, how it wants to be, the way it wants to be. And clearly explains from what we said this morning, and many times, we are not designed to be human. We are not designed to be a cat. We are nothing but the presence of interaction of the fields, which has given time and space, has led to collection of the fields, which on the gravitational field strength of the earth creates motion, emotion, and with it, existence. If this planet would have had a slightly different composition of the field strength from the center of its core, your amino acid would have not been what we see today. A slight deviation, as I've said many times before, would have put you here with a different element. And then how would you look? What happened if this process of the elements of this, what we call structure, was slightly different than what you thought it'll be? You would have been green, for sure. And you could have been a slightly combination of the two possibility would have become maybe a dark green color. As long as we can make a line of connection with the environment, and as long as we can hold on to the energy, gravitational field, and as long as we can release field energy, the storage decides the manifestation of life. And then, at the present life, we look at nitrogen. We make all our fertilizers connected to the nitrogen. And if the science of the knowledge of today could be understood in a deeper way, by the color of the leaf of a plant, we can decide the strength of the nitrogen we need to keep this composition. And then mankind does not need the plant, but it needs to understand the coding of the field strength. Those of you who work to the dimension of energizing the soul of the man, you should have guessed the whole thing, what and how you need to target to work to increase the field energies, that you elevate the soul in the dimension of the amino acid interaction. Is the collection of the egg and the sperm which led to the creation of the soul of the man. The combination of the field strengths the two share in the, what we call dimension of the creation of life, dictates in so many ways, and the point of the collection and completion as what? The color of the eye, the shape of the face. So what would be if you change the environment of the earth with a man to another dimension or to another position in the universe? But in fact, the essence of the soul stays the same. The essence of the source does not change. It's the interaction of the fields of the source which creates the shape, the color, the position where the soul can interact and survive. If you understood this, then you understand how we as a human race come to understand we are the makers of the decisions, and we are the decision makers of the presence of our soul in any dimension. Now we have to learn how to tap into these energy sources. What do we need to change that we change accordingly? We know this process through our own existence, but we have dismissed it. We have not looked at it in depth. We looked at it everywhere, but except the dimension of the field interaction of the soul. When the soul of the man is ready and is grown enough in the strength within the physicality of the man, then it takes energies from the dimension of the physicality of the man, and in the dimension of physicality, you find yourself with a gray hair, which remove the skin and the rest of it. But in fact, the energy strength of the soul has changed, and the interaction of the change of the field has changed the manifestation of the presentation. When you look at a gray hair, when you look at the white hair, it tells you that the soul has elevated, the soul has gathered enough strength, and it lays out why. Why do you get a gray hair or a white hair? Because you went through an experience. You added to the energy of the soul. Soul now has a different strength. It used to be here in the center. Now it's become, in fact, here in understanding of the totality. Do you need to get old? That create the atmospheric condition or interaction of field condition that it affects your physicality, or you learn how to interact to expand the totality of the fields, that physicality never changes. The fountain of youth. The fountain of youth is understanding the strength of the field of the soul of the man, not understanding the way the physicality can extend its existence on this planet or beyond. When you create this barrier, the dimension of physicality doesn't interact and is fed within, so you stay constantly the same. Then, if you understood that, you decide yourself on your own in which dimension of physicality, with a new dimension of the field of strength, you manifest yourself. Or if you carry on with committing the what are called crimes, with taking lives, then which direction does mankind want to go? You have nothing to give to create the dimension. Go back to one of the intros. You care about your children. You care about how physically you look, how smart you are, what suit goes with the other. But you have never thought what you're going to do with this one, which is your soul, and its interaction will create your dimension of physicality. If you understood this part of the teachings, then you understand simply man is the creator of his own destiny in the strength of the soul. Then you decide you stay for 1 year, 1 decade, 1 century, and 1 life of the universe. It's all within us. It's all within the structure of us. It's just trying to understand the next step. We don't need guns and bullets to show our power. We need generosity and love and giving to be able to release the same energy. I made man in the image of myself by giving, not by killing. Then it comes to understanding of the totality. In so many ways, it comes to understand to what extent we can help this process to be. When a child does not understand, you explain. You send him to school to comprehend the next step of knowledge to gather more. In this process, the teaching the school of the soul of the man at this moment of time till the man learns and become graduate is being chosen to be the enhancement unit. The sandbox of your soul. The sandbox of understanding the use of the fields of the universe, not the use of the fields of the life created in the universe. There is a big difference in killing and in what we call giving. If we are given, is the essence of life. If we take it by killing it, we have diminished the life. A child does not kill the mother to take the energies to grow. The child takes from the mother what the mother prepares and he makes it ready as a milk for him to suckle on. Man has to be that child, to take the fields of what the universe has prepared for it, and not to kill, to take that there is no fee to create another life with it, to support another life with it. And this is where this planet has a stock with, is what we call evolution of the completion of its totality. Man will learn the milk of life comes from the essence of the fields of the universe and not by destroying the life in the universe to get what he wants. How do you taste if I eat you? Should be, what do you have for me to feel the love of you for me that allows me to elevate myself, my understanding of my soul. The university of the universe is understanding which fields, in which way to use without destroying. Then the University of the Man, he gives you the best chemicals to give the maximum survival time, that when you kill the animals, you get what you want. The enhancement unit is not there for you to walk away from the cancer. It's not there for you to walk away from what we call Alzheimer's or whatever. It's there for you to learn the next step in the development of the soul of the man, that the man becomes the child of the universe and not the child of this planet. The baby does not kill the mother to get. It gives love and laughter and a smile to the mother that mother can give. A man should be that baby in the universe. Become the source of elevation, joy, of being part of the universal community, than going out to carry on with the killing and more destruction. And this is why the man has been contained and confined to this planet till he sorts this thing out to understand. We allow the soul of the man of good conduct to leave the planet. But the physicality of the man with the soul, which is engaged with the physicality of the man, will remain till he learns, I have the physicality, but I've learned not to kill, not to destroy, not to enforce by the forces. The process of the creation in understanding the new enhancement centers is to start the new line of communication between the man and energy fields of the universe, that one of these might lead by understanding it to the essence of the source, which is the creator. It's not that all the fields from the source have to go through divisions and breaking to become the soul of the man. The soul, the generosity of the creator's field of creation, they still exist. It's you who have to understand how and the way to the strength that you can tap in your soul to it. And with it, with that understanding, create a line of communication between the man and the creator. If you understood this, then you come to understand the work of what we call the enhancement. The enhancement units are built in the shape of the universe and nothing else. When you look at it, as I said before, and the energy field of the center of the system is set to match, to be able to match the soul of the man and the soul of the creation, both in both dimensions of the field of strength. And how we turn up to be, how we allow this process to be followed, to be as part of, to be in conjunction and in process of understanding of it. And this is the purpose of the enhancement units. This is why we build the enhancement units. Replication of the man, when you get into it and you understand the feature of it, which part of the universe you want to be in. The position and the destination is decided by the soul of the man within the system. And as you approach this understanding is where in the unicos you will land. The whole process of the understanding for man has been, the block for man's understanding has been the motion of the magnetic fields. Creation of magnetic fields. Collective interaction of the magnetic fields. And then maybe in a simple way, man can see something in his existence and within this enhancement system. In fact, the central line is the same as the magnet you created as a solid. What we set up in the structure of the fields of the system, which will feed interaction with the soul of the man, understanding of the emotion, decides which one will be more interactive and where we will land. Or you decide that I want to be elevated in a way that I become in this process part of the fields of the universe. Then with what you interacted and what you give as a part of the totality will land you in that position in the universe. This the same could be the soul of the wanting to see the mother or wanting to see the child. There is no difference. It's you who decides if it's the mother position on the universe or in direction of the soul of the creator. Then life becomes without time, place, and position. It's you who receives and it's you who gives. The flight enhancement units by the inherited design are both ways. They are givers and takers. Where the what we call enhancement unit for performance, body enhancement unit are mainly in that direction. And with the material enhancement unit, we haven't done much difference. What we have learned is how to change the energies of the higher order to a lower order to the matter state. But in fact, we still work within the dimension of the internal fields of the system. And then what fields we create within this decides what we give or what we take from the system into the environment to the satisfaction of the soul of the man. You want a kilo of a gold, we shall create a kilo of gold. You are thirsty, that gold becomes water. You are hungry, that energy becomes bread. It's you through the dimension of the soul which satisfies. But this satisfaction of the soul has to be agreed to be balanced with the other fields, that you do not change the position and space of the others unless they want you to. The mother gives you milk for you to smile, to kiss, to cuddle. You return back the energy. A lamb which comes to you to be fed, you slaughter. There's no difference between the lamb and the mother. It's you who has decided the hand which cursed the mother becomes the hand to kill the animal. And this is where the soul of the man has turned into its dimension of the work and understanding of the new teachings. It's you who has to understand this, and that hand has to become the source of returning the love and care, not the hand to destroy another life. And this process cannot change till the man matures to that point of understanding. I would like to see how you taste, but I have to bring you close enough to catch to get in the dimension of universe. The soul of the existence of what is aware of the emotion. Now we understand the process of the whole understanding of what the teachings are getting into. We try now to create the dimension of the communication and the position with the other places and points in the universe, on this planet, or more essentially, fundamentally, within the brain of the man, within its own emotions. Because it's these emotions which in a way allows the release of the fields that the body of the man decides its position. And as the soul of the man is within the brain of the man and is in a way replication of the field source, then the decision on how the soul of the man will take his time, place, and position. We're not teaching anything new, but we are opening the book of the knowledge of the creation that man can go to the next step, that we can establish the thing. Establish one point, one piece, one way to change. This is how the establishment of the Universal Council has become. The establishment of the Universal Council has one fundamental work to do, is that be there as an essence to feed, that the soul of the totality understand the totality of the creation. They are these units on the walls of the space reactor. These are the souls within the space reactor of this planet, to receive, to give, to elevate the soul of the totality of the created. That in that process, man reaches the ultimate knowledge, which has been and shall be and will never change till man becomes mature to the understanding of totality. In a way, if you look at it, we have replaced the reactors within the enhancement unit with the soul of the members of the Universal Council. They are those sources to bring, to allow, to elevate the soul of the totality, that one day mankind does not need the enhancement system, but survives in the structure of the universe as on its own, field of existence. Because the reactors we build are physical dimension and strength, and in certain point in a universe, that strength cannot manifest and show itself. But the soul of the universal members of the group of man is a dynamic, and in essence, it can fit any soul. We fit in the enhancement units through the combination of different fields to work with the majority of the soul's strength created on this planet. As I said recently to one of knowledge seekers, and this will happen to many of you, this is not something that will be very, what you call, abnormal in the coming time. You have 4 sets in the enhancement units. And 3 of you are from the race of the man. But those who are here from other dimensions of the fields of the universe, they are after the elevation of the soul to the new dimension. They enter in the body of the man. But what happened when the system runs? And through different strengths of the soul they have and the expectation of this, they might create, receive the condition through understanding of the RNA and the energies of the universe to return home where they came from. But man is happy to go to New York or London. It's not that one of the passengers suddenly disappears. He actually goes where he came from. You all went to the same restaurant, but for different foods, for different satisfactions, for different elevation of the sense of the creation within you. One has a Chinese, the other one has what we call a curry, and the one is happy with fish and chips. But this chap, knowing, understanding through the essence of technology and being manifested, as one of us wants to go home. Many of you in the coming time in the enhancement units will understand this very rapidly. There is a reason we chose 4 seats. You remember the star formation. We still follow the same principle. We still follow the same understanding and no difference. In essence, in understanding the totality, mankind will become very wise to the whole structure of the creation. And in a similar way, we become part of the universal community. We become to see the universe with a different eye, through the eye, through understanding of the soul of the man, than through the taste, the vision, and the touch of the man. How would be the smell of such a galaxy or such a planet? When you pick up a soil, you smell it. You feel the smell of that planet. So shall be in the dimension of universe. Now, we understand more. Why? We teach in parallel both the dimension of physicality, which is now is the enhancement unit, the work of the enhancement unit, and what to come in the dimension of the soul of the man in conjunction with what man creates in the physical matter. In the physical dimension, in totality of understanding the essence of the creation. We are here just as teachers and not messengers. Message can be misread. Teaching has to be direct and clear. In so many ways, a teacher has to be knowledgeable enough to see the totality that can teach in the steps to each student as they come, they are, and according to their comprehension and understanding. When you go to a village, there's one class and one teacher. The infant has a chair. The child who's 7 years old has a chair. The 12-year-old has a chair. And the one which is 18 going to university has a chair. And the same teacher in that village teaches the infant to the teenager, to the one who's going to university, according to the understanding. And she speaks to the infant with the love and care as an infant, and to the teenager and what I call the one to go to university as a man, that he understands the understanding of the work of the what we call outside world. And the teaching has been in the same way. We teach with love and care to the infant of the man. The village is the village of earth, and the classroom is here. It depends where you see yourself, not in the dimension of the physicality and the knowledge, but in the strength of the field of the soul of the man. And then how we can nourish this from infant to maturity. But we speak the same language. And at the same time, the infant of the man, the village of earth, is within the universal community. When we teach those who are teenagers of the what we call the universe, and those who have matured to go to university, all sit in the same class. But they take different understanding from the same words and to the maturity of their own soul. The time of messengers and whatever is over, because message can be misread, but the teaching can be explained and become direct. Teacher takes his time to the child, the infant, understand what is the bottle and which color is which, where the one in adult who knows which color to mix to get what new emotion from it and directions of understanding. We taught well. It's mankind who has to understand and decipher and decides by himself where he sits in this school of knowledge. And I said from the beginning, you take from my teaching according to your intellect, according to your understanding. Not intellect by reading books, but intellect understanding the work of your soul, the understanding of the inner creation, the understanding of totality. We still keep busy with opening factories and getting cups made and trying to get a flight system to satisfy different position and condition to bring all to the same point. As I explained to the head of the Keshe Foundation in China very recently, when they sent us a cup of, which is getting produced in China, I explained to the knowledge seekers about the same cup. We make thousands of cups, and they don't come out perfect. This is a problem in China. The cups have a boil here or something else, but in essence, the whole have received the gases for what it is. But the strangest point is you still look at the physicality of the cup, but we look at different. The cup which is fit with certain gases in certain position will find itself when we sell it from China to Kathmandu or to Brazil, The cup which fits the man's needs in Brazil will arrive to him because the soul of the cup is made for that. Come home. This is where you're needed. It's not anymore what I put there. It'll go and it has to go and it's for you. The essence of the understanding is that the cups are made as a cup of the universe, as a cup of life, and you decide what you take from it according to the strength of the cup. One finds love drinking from a cup, and one finds eradication of the diabetic, and one finds new understanding. Because you take from that cup, according to what you asked, what was delivered, what you need for elevation of your soul. And when you elevate that position, when you reach that position, you'll find out, oh, I don't have diabetic anymore. You look at the physicality, we look at in how we elevate it to satisfy. Why do you get diabetic? What does it mean, the sugar level? What is you're giving unexpectedly and you're not receiving what you want? You call it diabetic? Isn't your body responding to? Hasn't diabetic becomes a point of the new problem for the mankind due to the energy transfers that we have created for ourselves in a dimension of the soul and physicality, and it manifests itself different way? This is what the new technology is. As you don't understand, we feed you in a way that unknowingly, gradually, you come to understand the totality. Be it by water, be it by a cup of life, be it by the teaching, be it by understanding the totality of the message. But it's you who decides where and how we come to that point, where and how we come to understand that what we understand from the creation. Do we need any more prophets? Do we need any more Christianity, Judaism, Muslims, and the rest of it? Or we see it all as one? The path to understanding the totality of the creation, not in the world of physicality, but in the world of understanding for elevation of the soul of the man. In understanding the essence of the message, not the book of the message, because it can be made in any color, shape, and size and writing. This time, we teach you how to read and understand the message by yourself, that you don't need intermediaries of the prophets, the mullahs, the ayatollahs, and the priests. You are your own priest. You are your own decipherer of the knowledge and where you want to be. And meanwhile, we keep ourselves busy building the enhancement units and other bits that you understand there is somewhere called the Keshe Foundation that I can get the knowledge on my own without intermediary, and I can translate it to what I understand. And what will help me to create that position and change? I hope now you understand when we say new ways of communication is set up, is part of the teaching, is for you how to communicate, how to build systems that you can communicate with yourself, with your soul, with the universal community, and beyond. Even if you elevate enough to go within a deeper inner strength of the man's soul, maybe you find the line of communication to your creator. And then, if you found that point, you become him, become part of him, and become part of the totality. Because now the strength of the fields of the creator, in a way, as it was before, between you and the distance, now you become part of totality as you become part of it. I made man in the image of myself, but the man is me within the image. This is what the teaching is about. And meanwhile, we keep ourselves busy to bring the children up from that infancy to what I call maturity in the same classroom of the earth. Thank you very much for today. We go through a break and we come back to answer any of your questions.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Kesh. I'll get a couple of videos set up here and we'll carry on with the workshop in a few minutes.